Greetings, fellow time travelers. Welcome back to Secrets of the Ancients, where we uncover the hidden mysteries of lost civilizations and dive deep into the secrets that shaped our world. I'm your archaeological guide, and today we're embarking on an absolutely mind-blowing journey to two of ancient Egypt's most sacred cities, places where the boundaries between life and death, between mortals and gods, were almost completely erased. What we're about to discover will challenge everything you thought you knew about ancient Egyptian spirituality and their obsession with eternal life. Before we unveil these incredible secrets, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss the ancient mysteries we're about to reveal. Picture this incredible puzzle. Why would ancient Egyptians travel hundreds of miles across treacherous desert terrain, facing scorching heat and dangerous bandits, just to visit a particular city? What made Abydos and Thebes so extraordinarily special that millions of pilgrims risked everything to reach them? But here's what will absolutely blow your mind. Recent archaeological discoveries suggest these weren't just religious centers. They were sophisticated spiritual machines, carefully designed to transport the living into direct contact with the realm of the dead. What archaeologists uncovered at these sites contradicts everything we thought we knew about ancient Egyptian burial practices. The evidence suggests something far more profound was happening here, something that goes beyond simple religious devotion. Let's start this incredible journey from the very beginning, over 5,000 years ago. Transport yourself back to 3,100 years before Christ. Egypt is in its infancy, barely unified under the rule of the first pharaohs. In the heart of Upper Egypt, along the western bank of the Nile, a city is rising that will become the most sacred place in all of ancient Egypt. Abydos, even the name itself whispers of mystery and ancient power. Imagine standing here as the sun rises over the Nile. The first pharaohs, those legendary god kings who united Upper and Lower Egypt, are constructing their eternal homes. These aren't ordinary tombs. They're massive rectangular structures called mastabas, built from millions of mud bricks, their walls adorned with colorful paintings that seem to come alive in the flickering torchlight. Pay attention to this incredible discovery. Inside these tombs, archaeologists found not just golden treasures and precious jewelry, but boats, actual full-sized boats. Why would someone need a boat in their tomb? The ancient Egyptians believed these vessels would carry the deceased across the waters of the underworld, navigating the treacherous journey to eternal life. But one tomb stands out from all the others. The tomb of King Djer, one of Egypt's earliest pharaohs. When archaeologists entered this 3,100-year-old structure, they discovered something absolutely shocking: fragments of the king's arm, deliberately separated from his body and placed in an ornate box. This bizarre practice remains one of Abydos's greatest mysteries. Was it a ritual? A protective spell? We may never know for certain, but it reveals just how differently the ancient Egyptians viewed death and the human body. Now, fellow explorers, we're about to witness the emergence of a cult that would transform Abydos into the most important pilgrimage site in all of ancient Egypt, the cult of Osiris. Picture this mythological drama. Osiris, a benevolent king with green skin symbolizing eternal rebirth, rules Egypt with wisdom and compassion alongside his beloved wife Isis. He teaches his people agriculture, law, and the foundations of civilization itself. But lurking in the shadows is his jealous brother Set, consumed by envy and rage. Set murders Osiris in cold blood, dismembers his body, and scatters the pieces across Egypt. But here's where the story becomes absolutely extraordinary. Isis, in an act of love and devotion that resonates across millennia, searches tirelessly for every piece of her husband's body. She finds them all and, using her magical powers, resurrects Osiris, not to rule the living, but to become the eternal king of the underworld. This myth became the foundation of Egyptian belief in resurrection. If Osiris could overcome death itself, then perhaps every Egyptian could too. This is why millions flocked to Abydos. They believed that being buried near Osiris would guarantee their own resurrection in the afterlife. Imagine the scene. Wealthy Egyptians from Memphis, Thebes, and every corner of the kingdom journey hundreds of miles to Abydos. Those who couldn't afford burial there would construct cenotaphs, symbolic empty tombs, just to maintain a spiritual connection to the god of resurrection. The city became a spiritual magnet, its streets filled with priests chanting ancient hymns, pilgrims making offerings, and merchants selling sacred amulets. Abydos wasn't just a city, it was a gateway between worlds. Now, fellow time travelers, let's journey north along the Nile to another city that would rival even Abydos in spiritual power, Thebes, the magnificent city of 100 gates. Picture Thebes during the New Kingdom, around 1300 years before Christ. This isn't just a city, it's the beating heart of the most powerful empire on earth. The streets pulse with life merchants hawking exotic goods from Nubia and Punt, priests in flowing white linen robes heading to temple ceremonies, and workers constructing monuments that will stand for thousands of years. But here's what will absolutely amaze you. The Karnak Temple complex isn't just one building, it's an entire city within a city, covering over 200 acres. That's larger than some modern towns. Imagine walking through the Great Hypostyle Hall, a forest of 134 massive stone columns, each one towering 45 feet into the air. The columns are so enormous that 50 people could stand on top of just one. In the blazing Egyptian sun, these columns cast dramatic shadows, creating an otherworldly atmosphere where the earthly and divine truly seem to meet. Here's a puzzle that baffles modern engineers. How did ancient Egyptians move and lift these colossal stone blocks, some weighing over 300 tons, without modern machinery? Recent archaeological evidence suggests they used a sophisticated system of ramps, sledges, and possibly even water to lubricate the path. Engineering genius that we're only now beginning to understand. Now here's where our story takes an absolutely incredible turn. Across the Nile from Thebes on the west bank lies the Valley of the Kings, a hidden necropolis carved into the limestone cliffs. This wasn't chosen randomly. The ancient Egyptians believed the western bank of the Nile, where the sun sets, was the realm of the dead. In 1922, archaeologist Howard Carter made one of the most spectacular discoveries in archaeological history. After years of searching, he found the virtually untouched tomb of Tutankhamun, a relatively minor pharaoh. When Carter peered through a small hole into the tomb and was asked what he could see, he replied, with just 3 words: "Wonderful things." Inside were over 5,000 objects: golden chariots, jeweled daggers, furniture inlaid with precious stones, and the famous golden death mask weighing 24 pounds of solid gold. But here's what truly staggers the imagination. If this was the tomb of a minor pharaoh who died young, imagine the treasures that must have filled the tombs of great pharaohs like Ramses II or Seti I. Sadly, those tombs were plundered in ancient times, their treasures lost forever. Recent scientific analysis using ground-penetrating radar and 3-dimensional scanning has revealed something extraordinary. The tombs in the Valley of the Kings were positioned according to precise astronomical alignments. The corridors and chambers were oriented to specific stars and constellations that the Egyptians associated with the afterlife journey. This wasn't random construction. This was sophisticated celestial engineering designed to guide the pharaoh's soul through the heavens. Now, fellow ancient seekers, we're about to uncover one of the most fascinating aspects of Egyptian culture, their obsession with cosmetics. But here's the shocking truth. Egyptian makeup wasn't about vanity, it was about survival and spirituality. The Egyptians created kohl, that distinctive dark eye makeup, by grinding galena, a lead-based mineral, with burnt almonds and malachite. Now you might think, lead? Isn't that poisonous? Here's what recent scientific analysis revealed that will blow your mind. The lead in Egyptian kohl actually stimulated the production of nitric oxide in skin cells, boosting the immune system by up to 400%. This wasn't makeup, this was medicine. The ancient Egyptians, without modern chemistry, had discovered a formula that protected eyes from the bacterial infections that plagued desert dwellers. The harsh sandy winds of Egypt caused constant eye problems, and kohl was their solution. The Ebers Papyrus, dating back to 1550 years before Christ, is one of the oldest medical documents in existence. This incredible scroll, measuring over 60 feet long, contains over 700 medical formulas, and many of them are cosmetics. Red ochre, used as blush, was also prescribed for skin inflammations. Green malachite, used as eyeshadow, doubled as an antiseptic for wounds. The Egyptians understood something modern science is only now confirming: beauty and health are interconnected. So, fellow time travelers, What have we uncovered today in our archaeological adventure? We've discovered that Abydos wasn't just a burial ground, it was a spiritual portal, a place where the living believed they could literally touch eternity through connection with Osiris, the god of resurrection. We've explored Thebes, the magnificent city of 100 gates, with its mind-boggling Karnak Temple complex and the treasure-filled tombs of the Valley of the Kings, monuments that showcase human ambition, faith, and artistic genius on an almost unimaginable scale. And we've revealed that Egyptian cosmetics were far more than beauty products. They were sophisticated chemical formulations that protected health, warded off evil, and connected the wearer to the divine realm. But here's what I want you to think about. The ancient Egyptians invested incredible resources, millions of labor hours, vast treasures, and their greatest artistic talents, all focused on preparing for death and the afterlife. What does this tell us about how differently they viewed existence compared to modern society? Were they obsessed with death, or were they actually more focused on eternal life than we are? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think the ancient Egyptian approach to death and eternity was wiser than our modern perspective? What would you want to take with you into the afterlife if you believed in the Egyptian concept of eternal life? And here's a challenge for all you ancient seekers. If you could spend one day exploring either Abydos during the height of the Osiris cult or Thebes during the reign of Ramses II, which would you choose and why? In our next episode, we're traveling to a place that will absolutely shock you. We're heading to ancient Mesopotamia to uncover the secrets of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Were they real? Who built them? And why did they vanish without a trace? The answers will surprise you. Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and never stop seeking.